AITA for ordering a triple bunk bed for my stepkids. Using a throwaway. Sorry. So some context. I, 42F, recently got married to my husband, 46 meters, around 6 months ago. We've been seeing each other for 3 years now, and his previous wife passed a few months before we got together. I try not to bring it up. He brought their 3 kids, 11 meters, 9 meters and 15F, into the marriage, and I brought my 13 daughter. His kids don't really seem to like me, but I try to get along with them as much as possible. They seemingly exclude my daughter from everything, though my husband treats her like his own, but is so lenient when it comes to punishing them for bothering her. They tease her, steal her belongings, throw her things away, and are just overall mean and rude. We recently moved into a 3-bedroom less than a week ago and had plans to split the boys and girls into separate rooms. My daughter has been expressing to me how much she doesn't want to share a room with her stepsister in fear of being taunted and hurt furthermore. Since the bullying has gotten so horrid and bad within the past couple of months, I've decided on ordering a triple bunk bed, stuffing my husband's kids into the 1-bedroom. It's decently sized. I made sure they all can live in the room together. They however hate the idea, and so does my husband. But I've already taken the money out of our joint account to buy this bed. My husband's daughter has called me an asshole and bitch, and stolen my daughter's phone charger after we told her the plan. My husband has told me I've crossed a line and I'm pushing my stepchildren away. I told him I'm just doing what's best for my daughter. So Reddit, am I the asshole? AITA. You got together with these children's father while their grief for their mother was still fresh. You have not demonstrated even an ounce of compassion or empathy for them. The fact that you react to their misbehavior in such an inappropriately punitive manner tells me all I need to know about the tone you've set for your relationship from the beginning. Yes, your husband should be stepping up more to protect your daughter. I'm very sorry that those kids are taking their resentment of you out on her. She doesn't deserve that. But they are still kids who have experienced tremendous loss and transition, which you don't acknowledge at all. They have had absolutely no choice or agency in the forces that have shaped their lives. It should be obvious that they are trying to exercise some semblance of control with their behavior. Get them into individual and all of you into family therapy and stop taking this so personally. You made your choices, they didn't have any. Now be an adult and deal with the children whose family you decided to join responsibly. AITA. If you want to do what's best for your daughter, leave. Her step-siblings are bullying her, her stepdad allows it, and all you can talk about is how you treat your stepkids. You are not protecting your daughter, and you should have known your stupid triple bunk bed idea would be shot down. You and your husband are not a team right now. Move out, get a 2-bedroom apartment, and give your daughter her own room that way. Don't subject her to relentless bullying in her own home. I plan on stuffing my husband's kids into one room and giving my daughter her own. GIDK, you have a brain and I assume you can read, so you tell us, does that sound like an asshole thing to do? This is not how you deal with rivalry and fighting amongst siblings. This is how you stoop to the level of a petty high schooler and possibly find yourself divorced. And really, if you're concerned about your daughter being bullied and hurt, why do you have her in that environment still? How is stuffing his kids in one room, one being the oldest kid in the house, going to address that? Careful, you're walking a very thin line here. AITA. His kids lost their mom at roughly 12, 8, and 6, and they get a mere few months to deal with her loss before dear old dad has brought a new woman into their lives that is nearly guaranteed to mess them up if not properly handled, and it certainly sounds like it was not. You both failed all the kids by not getting them into therapy as soon as you realized there were problems. Stuffing your husband's kids into one bedroom will only make everything worse. If you want the marriage and family to actually work, get everyone into family therapy immediately, like you should have done a long time ago. I was going to mention that short amount of time between the death of their mother and then their father getting together with you two. They hadn't even started to grieve properly, and you and their father were a couple. This was fast, too fast in the minds of your husband's kids. Info: why are you married to this man and putting your daughter in this horrible situation? Seems like this relationship should have ended 3 years ago. It was never this bad. Before we all moved in together it wasn't bad at all actually. There was no conflict. I feel so terrible. Yes, AITA. If your children cannot get along, that is an issue to be addressed with the entire family. It is absolutely not acceptable for you to make major life decisions for your family without their input or consent, and it will only serve to increase their resentment of your daughter if your stepchildren see you so overtly favoring her. You're an adult. Act like one. Accept your daughter. Your husband's biological kid suck for bullying your biological kid. Your husband sucks for not doing more to prevent the bullying, and you suck for spending a large amount of money and making a huge decision that majorly impacts your family without properly consulting your husband about it. But op is the biggest R. Making a 15-year-old girl share a room with 2 boys, while a 13-year-old girl gets her own room is classic wicked stepmother material. AITA for saying my family doesn't need a cake and making my sister cry. Hear me out. I was trying to be rational. My little sister likes to cook and bake, and for some reason today she made a sheet cake. Like for no reason at all. It's no one in our family's birthday for a long time. Since we're all stuck at home we are not as active as before. My sister is still walking and exercising and stuff, but neither I or my parents really are, since we can't go to the gym or anything. I asked my sister what she made a cake for, and she said she just felt like it and thought it would cheer us up. I said I probably wouldn't have any. She said that's fine, more for us. I told her that I know her and mom and dad didn't really need cake since we're not being active, it'll just contribute to making us gain weight. She said that wasn't true at all, and she still felt fairly in shape. I told her she was going to have to eat less over the next couple days to cancel out the cake. She told me I didn't know what I was talking about and to shut up. Later I heard her crying when my mom and her were cutting the cake up after dinner. I feel bad, but I was really trying to help. I don't know why she made a cake for no reason when we are stuck at home not even being active. I don't really like eating dessert much, so maybe that's my problem. AITA? You understand that baking is a skill that requires frequent practice like any other, right? It's not like you can just wait until a special occasion, follow a recipe, and whatever you're making will come out perfectly. It takes a long time to learn and master the techniques involved in baking. It's also just a fun hobby, especially for people who are stuck at home. You sound like you have some deeper psychological issues about weight. It's not necessarily healthy to feel like you or others have to be so paranoid about gaining a few pounds. If it bothers you so much that you feel like you need to be the food police and lecture other people about what they're cooking, you might have a compulsion that you need to address. AITA, you should stop being so negative to others and focus on your personal issues. I'm not trying to generalize people with psychological problems about weight, but as someone who has many problems with it, I would never act like Op did. I know everyone reacts to things differently, but why would he drag his sister down like that? Worst comes to worst, I don't eat the cake. Who died and made you the controller of everyone's diet though? Very childish and very obvious. AITA. I make cake when I'm stuck at home because I find baking soothing. It's a reasonably positive way to burn some time and help people feel better. In shelter-in-place situations, it appears that everyone in the goddamn world bakes. So that's why, not no reason. Just a bunch of reasons that don't make sense to you. Further to that, it's not the end of the world if people gain weight. These are unusual circumstances. We are all coping as best we can, and for many people, that means some stress eating, and that's fine. Stress eating is healthier than stress starving yourself, which a lot of people are also going to do. Getting drunk every night, another very popular choice. Getting wildly annoyed with the people you live with, almost inevitable, but channeling the rage productively can slow it down. Or using your available pharmaceuticals recklessly. Most people, if they've had a few tabs of something squirreled away, are using them now. Your sister can diet later, or not. Either way, it will not be your problem. What is your problem is living peacefully with your family until this crisis is over. Consider being nice to them, an investment in your collective sanity. AITA, your mentality around food should be adjusted. while being aware of the food you put into your body and adjusting your food intake as your physical activity changes is important. Your reaction was not a very healthy mindset. She make a cake because it brought her happiness. You took that away with your judgy comments. You should not be telling your family to not eat cake or to eat less food because of it. AITA, if she likes to bake, then it might be a way for her to relax a bit while the world is crazy. Don't add more stress to people. Keep your mouth shut. It's a way to be nice and make sure no cake gets in there. Agreed. People stress bake/cook all the time. It can be therapeutic. Also, can you send your sister this way please? I'm a stress eater. We'd make a good team. I'm with Ops sister. I've made multiple loaves of bread and several batches of cookies since we've been shut in. It relieves my stress, and feeling able to provide something positive for my family helps in a situation where there are so many factors well out of my control. Op is such an asshole for failing to recognize that baking was probably a positive experience his sister needed, and for trying to control his entire family's enjoyment. Op, the presence of cake or not in your household is not going to matter in the long run. If you want to support your family's health, encourage activities that promote physical activity, but also support activities that promote positive emotional and mental well-being. Those activities are just as essential right now. Exactly. My brother and sister-in-law are living with us right now, and baking has been their go-to relaxation activity. Do you think I'm upset I get to enjoy these buttermilk biscuits, shortbread, bagels, pineapple upside down cake and the like? Hell no. If I gain 15 pounds before the quarantine is over, then so be it. AITA, if that's your idea of help, I'd hate to hear your idea of criticism. AITA, I'm afraid we are all going to have to work against the urge to be asses right now. It sounds more like you were just raining on your sister's parade rather than trying to help everyone stay fit. You could just have said no thanks without making her feel bad for spending her time doing something she enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and wash your hands. Like and subscribe for more videos.